keep it very simple. I think we have a very limited time. So I think we have to focus on the more buyer-led growth model, which means like you have to put your customer in the center of everything. The customer is the king is the line which you have to put in your mind. Because if you're not talking to your customer, if you're talking about the go-to-market strategies for our market where good innovation technology and all, but if you're not talking to your customer, if you're not getting the feedback, if you're not making a customer-centric product, I think the everything will be failed as well. And how you're going to do this? Solidify your value proposition. Keep it simple and clean. I think your value proposition should be the one where you have, even if you have just one value proposition in the product, I think you should have the one main value proposition in your product. You can keep it 2 or 3 maximum as the secondary value proposition, but the focus should be on the one as well. The limited acquisition, which means like focus on the 3R, the revenue, repeat, and referrals. Why you build a startup? Of course, for revenue. If your focus is not on the revenue and the repetitive revenue, and revenue coming from the repeated revenue coming from the referrals, then it's also a rat pack. So your focus should be on your customer by bringing the solidify value proposition and bringing revenue from the repetitive referrals as well. How are we going to get this? I think when we talk about this practice, like, don't take more than you can chew, which means like a lot of time, even I have done this mistake a lot of time where I try to bring more and more customer, but not stick to the one sort of customer. I think you can just simply focus on your first few customers, do more and more repetitive sales, getting like in a cookie cutter approach, right? Avoid these kind of stuff. The guerrilla growth hacking will take you there, which means you have to focus on the growth hacking from 360 degrees focus, which means like you have to take all these approaches from a digital, because if you're living in a 21st century, you cannot simply adopt a 90s kind of growth model. So the guerrilla growth hacking is something that will take you to the 21st century to focus on that. KYC, know your customers. If you don't know your customers, you fail. I think the most important part of the most important KPIs on an outcome of a guerrilla growth hacking model is to knowing your customers through the referrals, through the marketing strategies, through the leads and all. And after knowing your customer, you have to set the right KPIs. Of course, you can learn a lot from your competitors, good competitors, bad competitors, successful competitors, failed competitors. But I think your competitor will help you to set the right KPIs as well. Of course, you cannot simply depend on the competitor. You also have to know as a founder, what is the right set of the KPIs in your business as well. I think because I've already almost on the time, but I think one of the biggest key takeaway of this session is the growth and comfort do not coexist, which means if you really want to grow, you have to little bit destabilize your comfort zone. You have to come out from the comfort zone. A lot of time, I'm taking myself an entrepreneur, I'm a current entrepreneur. I have seen a lot of time I was in my own comfort zone. And when I was in my own comfort zone, I was doing the easy sales, easy approaches, easy growth strategies and everything. It will not take you to the next level. If you really want to have a very exponential growth from a 1 million ARR to 10 million to 100 to 1,000 million ARR, you have to challenge your comfort zone, because both these things will not coexist. So I think that's all from here. I'll close it here from now. And this is the time for Q&A. I'm happy to take any questions if anyone has questions.
Thanks, Lalit. Appreciate the presentation. No, actually, I think this is our ops stage, by the way, Kate. So hang tight with us. We've got some more ops related stuff coming. But Lalit, quick question from me. This whole idea of boiling the ocean has always been something on top of my mind when you are at a startup, right? You're trying to do everything for everybody. What are some things that you think about early in starting up these businesses to make sure you are keeping your focus on that customer, right, and making sure that you're not trying to do everything for everybody?
Yeah, Joe, I think that's very important. I think founders are usually greedy people, right? They want everything at one time. And I think the most important part is like as I mentioned, like you cannot chew more than your expectation or your appetite. I think you have to understand like what is your key customers, what my first 5 customers. A lot of time I have seen like a lot of investors, a lot of mentors usually say, hey, sell to your friends and family.
Yep.
I do not relate to this. I'm like,
Mm.
your friends and family is not going to be a customer, not going to be a repetitive customer. They're not going to give you a good feedback, right? So on the basis of like a lot of times startups sell to the friends and family. Of course, they have friends and family for a reason. They're buying it, and you eventually got paid. So I think very simple. In short, pick your first five customers, do at least one repetitive sales with them.
Mm.
If you're not able to do the repetitive sales with them, I think you should change your customer market fit or product market fit.
I think that's a great advice. Making sure you can find somebody that is continuing to find the value of the product and is showing it with their pocketbook. I think that's exactly right. Great. Well, thanks, Lalit. Sorry to cut a little bit short. We want to keep ourselves on track here. We're doing great, though. Thanks for the presentation. If anybody wants to catch a recording, you can do that after we're done. But Lalit, thank you for joining us, and best of luck.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Yep.